Hi, my friends. Welcome, Hodesh Tov, to the first session of our Embracing Elul gatherings. It's really great to see all of your faces. God willing, we'll have many more faces joining us and watching our recording after it's recorded and posted. Really want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Deborah Coleman, who's on the call, who has been instrumental in making this happen, giving us as a Shari Tikva community the opportunity this month of Elul, this month of introspection, this month of building intimacy with the Holy One of Blessing, to hear voices, to hear one another's voices, not just mine. I think one of the special parts of this program is that you'll only be hearing from me once a week, and otherwise hearing voices from within our community. And in fact, if you're interested in being one of those voices, I encourage you to get in touch with Deborah. We would love to hear Torah and reflections on the themes of the month from all of you, and we will help you. So if you are nervous, don't be. We will be right there behind you. So please let us know. Each week, each day, as we are finished with just 3 to 5 minutes of Torah, we're going to pause for a moment and hear our Baal Tekiah, Stu Steiger, who's going to blow shofar for us as we close our eyes and take some deep breaths and reflect as we make our way through the month. So I thought it would be really nice to get started. First of all, I'm just looking at your faces and I'm thinking, Hine matovu manayim, how good it is to see all of your faces. It's really nice. And that's really the idea of all of this, is to give us another opportunity to hear each other's voices and to see each other's faces. So I wanted to start off our learning today with a story. And it's a favorite story of my teacher, Rabbi Dr. Arthur Green. That's a story told by Rabbi Dov Ber of Metzrich, the famous Maggid of Metzrich, who was a disciple of the Baal Shem Tov. And the story goes like this. There was a king who had an only son who, for some reason known only to the king, had to go off to a distant land. The problem, it's appropriate, as so many children, so many young adults are going off to school soon and going off to college soon, leaving home and leaving the nest. The problem with leaving the nest is that sometimes we get a little bit too comfortable there. And I don't know if it's so much of a problem as much as it's the point of us leaving the nest, as we get a little bit comfortable once we leave. And all sorts of things happen. Parents who've sent kids off to camp for the summer know that sometimes when children are away, they forget the niceties, they forget the rules, they forget the appropriate behaviors of home, of what it's like to be in the palace with the king. And this is what happened to the king's son, this blessed prince as well. Even his mind and this intimate nature that was within him grew coarse over time. And as the prince, the son, thought about the kingdom from whence he came, he grew to think ill of the kingdom. It wasn't positive, warm fuzzies that it once was. Until one day, the king's son heard that the king was going to be visiting the province where he lived. And the son went and entered the palace where the king was staying when he was in town. And something very strange began to happen. Something very odd began to happen. The king's son just started to shout in this strange voice. He had completely, unbeknownst to him, but he had completely forgotten the language of the king. But his body just, as if spontaneously, let out this wail, this melody, this wordless sound that he couldn't describe. And the king heard that sound and immediately recognized the voice as the voice of his long-lost son. He realized that his son had forgotten how to speak, couldn't even communicate in any language other than this wordless scream in a way that the king could understand. And immediately, as any parent would upon hearing the cry of their child, the king's heart filled with love and compassion. And of course, in this story, this famous story told over and over again by our Hasidic masters, the king is the King of Kings, the Holy Blessed One, the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And of course, we are all lost children. And so I want to invite us as we hear that sound, the sound that our Hasidic masters tell us is the sound of the shofar. As we hear that sound, then in a way we recognize our own voices calling out on this Rosh Hodesh Elul, calling out our own voices, our own wailing projected through the sounds of this shofar. And may we pray together that the Holy One of Blessing be seated, as in the story, on the throne of compassion. May God hear our call as we, lost children, begin to make our way back home.
Rachamana